Alright guys, welcome back to Beyond the Horrors-Ball.
Welcome back, bitches.
And today we're going to talk about a film that Crazy and I are very new to. Now, Headbanger here has talked about this on his show before, on the Vault segment. Yeah. And, you know, Crazy and I actually just visited this film for the first time this Halloween season.
He recommended it to me, and
it kind of was passed on.
Centipede.
Yeah.
And we have came to actually really love this film, and it is Herc Harvey's Carnival of Souls from 1962. Yes.
But first.
Yes, but first, we have...
Look what we brought back.
An old friend.
An old friend.
An old friend from Wasteland.
Yes.
How you say it? The... What is it? The
Rasputin.
Here it is again. Imperial Stout.
2.
Communism.
It's a socialist.
Socialism, communism,
and
atheism for David.
Imperialism.
Yeah.
Da 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 da.
Well, it is an Imperial Stout.
Man, you guys are on time.
Yeah. So, cheers, guys.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Rasputin.
Rasputin.
To friends.
Friends.
Socialism never tastes better.
And mad Russian monks.
Never tasted so good
at 8:50 on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yes.
For the record,
it tastes like coffee.
It really is great.
It's not just like we're saying.
No, it's good.
And I know you really don't like the strong stuff like this.
No, but it's dealable.
But he likes this.
It
says it right there. It's dealable.
And I like Rasputin. Is his story is very interesting.
As is
if I can digress.
Alright, so to get to Carnival of Souls, now I'm going to tell you guys right up front, we're going to openly discuss this film.
As we were briefed before we started.
We had a little talk about
very serious about
openly talking about this film
beforehand. He took us aside and said,
we're going to talk openly, guys.
Yes.
Okay, let it all out.
Very open, honest discussion. So actually what that means is this is going to be filled with spoilers. We're just going to openly talk about this film because it is public domain. It is from the 60s. Most people watching this have seen it. And I just feel like, it'd be easiest to just full on talk about the film.
So, really
full on. So it tells a story of Mary Henry, which is played by Candace Hillengoss. And her friends are in a car, and they're challenged to a drag race. This is right at the very beginning of the film.
Old school drag race. That's what they did back then.
And they just take off and start racing. Well, the girls end up wrecking off of a bridge in their car, and the car sinks underwater. And it appears all the girls are dead. People show up, and they're like, oh my God, and they start running down there. Where all of a sudden Mary comes out of the water. She's all dirty, and she's walking up the hill. It's very bizarre because you think the guys are running down there to help her, but really they're not, because they really just go right by her, and she's all of a sudden up in another car, and then all of a sudden it flash forwards to her playing the organ, and it's crazy how it starts out. I mean, I love how it is because she takes up a job then, doesn't she? She's
looking for a job as an organist at a church.
Yeah. So she goes to this other place, and all along, as she's traveling out there, she's haunted by this image, this guy, and he's actually just called the Man, right? And it's actually Herc Harvey, the director, that plays this part.
Which looks so bad.
Oh yeah,
that
it's so simplistic.
Black
too.
metal.
Yeah, corpse paint
with the black.
It's very simple: white paint, black eyes, and his hair's even got some white in it. And he's like haunting her, like she sees him in the car window.
The car scene is awesome.
Oh, I love it so much.
Simple effect, but
it's so strong.
The fact that it's in black and white, I think, makes that effect
pop out.
Great.
It does.
Like, if it was in color, it probably would look cheesy.
Good.
This looks great.
It looks perfect.
So she's haunted by this image. She takes this new job. She's staying in this little apartment building. And
with 2 eccentric characters.
Yeah, and this guy's like really interested in her, but she's not really as interested.
He's awesome.
And all along, the images become more and more. She's seeing this guy more, this image of this guy. And then other weird things start happening, like the picture gets kind of blurry. And then right after that, she can't hear what other people are saying. And she tries to interact with them, but they can't hear her. It's like she's not even there. It's like this weird thing that happens.
She's wondering if she's there or not, what's going on.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny to point out, like, that it's such a good film. There really is some great witty humor in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the scenes between her and this guy that lives in where she's staying.
Oh, yeah.
It's smart.
He's courting her, and he really wants her.
Yeah.
He's really like, kind of like, he's like Greaser.
He's like Quagmire.
Yeah, he's like a Quagmire.
Yeah, just like him.
He's very like,
yeah.
He's going after her, and she's like real quick-witted, and she says some lines. One line we love is she says, "You must be hilarious by noon," because he's always drinking.
Yeah.
Like she does a lot of.
And he says something like, "Well, you got to start off the day right."
The dialogue in this film is
excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
But yeah, I mean, she's basically haunted by these images, and she finds out, you know, she's slowly starting to find out more and more what's going on. And there's like this carnival, like this old abandoned amusement park, and I mean, some of the imagery there towards the end, she's like drawn to this place, and she sees these ghostly images dancing, and she sees that man there, and just, I mean, it's crazy. And like, man, there's, you know,
the vibe.
A really creepy part of the film.
It's
man,
really
it really trips me out is when she goes out on a date with that guy, and they get back to her place, and she's over at her dresser, and he comes around, and it looks like he's getting ready to kiss her on the neck, and she's standing there, and it cuts to an angle this way, and she looks, and it's that creepy man sitting there looking at her. She totally freaks out. Like, that scene, it's again very simplistic, but very effective, man.
It looks awesome.
Excuse me. Oh man, you must smell that when it was tasted.
And the carnival at the end, it's so desolate.
Yeah,
and you kind of hear wind like blowing. You know,
yeah,
it's so desolate, and the visual of it just looks so cool.
Amazing.
Like an empty Coney Island type.
Yeah,
you know, on the water type. You know.
Yeah.
Really cool vibe, and then the very end, which is just awesome.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of. Like, even the first time watching it, like, it's very easy, I think, to guess the end, like, right away. Like, I knew what was coming, but it still didn't at all affect the movie. Like, even though I totally guessed the ending, I was still totally blown away by this.
The key is the execution of it.
Exactly.
It's so great.
Yeah. You can know what's coming, awesome. but working to
visually, it looks awesome.
I mean, like, seriously, like, I never, you know, I love giving films a chance all the time and stuff, and then hearing you hype it up so much, and I just put it in, and it was Halloween actually that I watched for the first time. I was like, oh my gosh, what have I missed for this? So, because I mean, it's like totally like pulls you in because it's so, the score is amazing too. I mean, gosh,
organs.
Oh my god. Plus that
old timey organ.
Old organ.
Yeah, old organ.
Pipe
organ.
And then add that on top of everything else, and it's just
and like the high pitch. Old school.
It really gets up there.
It is a complete film.
It is.
Like the acting too, man.
Oh my gosh.
It's one of the greatest horror films of all time.
Seriously. And you know, it's crazy because as many as I've seen, as much as I've been watching them, just seeing this now for the first time, I totally agree with that. Like, this movie has moved so far up on my list, and actually, just watching it for the first time, like 3 weeks ago now, I've already watched it 4 times, which is just crazy. I just love going back to it. You know, I had it on one of those multi-packs, a real bad version of it, but it was the full 84-minute version of it. But I picked up this Criterion release, which, you know, Headbanger here talked about this too, how much it cleaned up. This is like the only real official release out there too, isn't it? I believe.
Like actual.
That's not, you know,
that's
like
not a public domain.
And
they really cleaned it up so well. And it has 2 versions of the film. It has the original theatrical cut, then it has, which the theatrical cut is only 78 minutes. The director's cut's 83 minutes.
Definitely want to see the director.
But 2-disc edition. This is the edition to get without question. I picked this up for $20. It's just loaded with a lot of special features, and you know the director's been dead for a little while now, but it has a really awesome interview with him on here from like 1989, I think, where he talks a lot about how this film, you know, it came out, it wasn't really a success, and it kind of just faded away, and it's got a lot more recognition as the years went on, and there's like a reunion on here for a 1989 cast and crew reunion. It's really cool stuff. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't recommend this film more. I think all 3 of us would agree. It's just, you know, again, what I like to say about the black and white films, I understand, you know, some people don't like to give them a chance, but we all 3 can say, man, you're really missing out on a lot of films, and this is a prime example because, you know, there is no hammy, cheesy, corny acting in this. Like, I would put a lot of this acting, like, in today's standards, you know what I mean? Because a lot of those films at that time period are certain ones where it can be overacted, or you know what I mean, like the acting style has changed a lot.
Yeah.
But this one didn't even feel that way. You know what I mean?
No way.
It just
the way I look at it though too, I think there's plenty of modern films where there's overacting.
oh
bad
yeah,
acting.
there definitely
I think there's a
is.
misperception that just films from back then were on a different level of quality, which I
Yeah.
completely disagree with. Some of them, yes, of course,
Yeah.
but the great ones like this, are
This one
great for a
shows.
reason, not
Yeah.
just because.
Not just
Well,
because.
that was a good movie for that time.
Yeah.
No, there's not
No.
that little moniker at the end. It is great.
This is
Man, it's
just
aged
today,
amazingly.
exactly.
film.
My
yeah.
God.
And there's
And
a
it's-
vibe and atmosphere. I always say this over and over of great films from that time that just can't be matched today. That's
I
why, in
totally
my
agree.
opinion, it makes it better than a lot of the films.
Yeah.
today. There's
It
a
really
certain
does.
vibe that you can't explain that just it almost doesn't feel like a movie to you.
No.
It's
Yeah.
like you're kind of in that
there.
little story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a really unique premise too. I mean, I thought it was really unique, very cool. I mean, just an all-around amazing film. So you know, here on Beyond the Realms, of course, we do a rating. So I guess I'll start off. And honestly, guys, I just can't hype this enough. I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. I just think, to me, it's just a perfect film. There's not one thing in this film I would change, honestly. Like, nothing. After watching it 4 times, you know, you can watch something the first time, really love it, watch it the second time, kind of, not like it as much. Like, this one I've loved more each time, and I really haven't seen one thing I would change in it the 4 times I've watched it. So I give it a 10 out of 10. What would you give it, Crazy?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Easily.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's
So
a 30 out of 30.
30 out of 30.
Yeah,
So,
honestly,
it's a perfect horror.
it's so good.
I mean, I just don't think it would be really hard to find a film. I think that all 3 of us would say 10 out of 10.
But
Even like
seriously.
other classic,
I mean,
I would
yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Even like ones that are very highly regarded, we even love, we might say 9 out of 10.
9
But
or
we
8.
all
No
would
way.
say 10 out of 10. We hadn't even talked
And-
about that before.
And I've only seen it once, but I would easily though. I mean, because I don't know. Seriously, seeing a film like that. I mean, like seeing it like that. It just surprised me how great it was.
And I think you agree with me. It's been a long time since I went back and watched a catalog title I'd never seen that hit me this hard, that I love this much.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, this just moved so far up on my all-time list. I mean, it's way up there already.
Everyone I talk to that sees this film too for the first time has very similar reactions.
It's just
You
amazing,
know, like Finch,
man.
you just saw it at our Halloween marathon. Thanks. Recently, and same
you saw it
reaction.
too?
You know, he had thought he had seen it, but he'd actually seen the remake. Blew him away. When I first saw this film, this is a long time ago. When I saw it on like a cool local. We had one of those late Saturday night.
Oh, that's
old
great.
movie shows.
Yeah.
They were on at like 2 in the morning.
Offbeat
That's where I
cinema?
first saw it. Yeah,
Yeah.
years and years ago. I remember sitting there. I was living at home at the time. I just remember when you first see a movie. And I remember like it was yesterday, I was just blown away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It blew me away. I was like,
Totally
that's one of the
agree.
greatest
Absolutely.
horror films of all
Yeah.
time.
Absolutely. That's up in my list
Seems like
too.
people seem to have that reaction when they see it.
Yeah. And the great thing about this, if you want to check it out now, with it being public domain, the entire movie is here on YouTube. And actually, the director's cut, the 83-minute or 84-minute director's cut, is right here on YouTube.
Well, screw that. Buy
So
this.
yeah,
Buy it.
That's
What's the
right,
date
yeah.
today? The sale for Criterion.
The sale for
runs
Criterion,
a few more days?
it's 19th, but somebody told me it got extended to the 26th, and I've had no confirmation on that, but I think it got extended.
Just
Go
buy
on
it.
there. Just
Yes.
fucking $20.
Buy it.
$3
$20
shipping,
right
probably.
now.
Buy
That's
it.
who just said
Throw
it
the
has
back
an
picture of the guy there.
awesome book in it. Yeah, that's actually the man. That's half of his face there.
There's a booklet
Or
inside.
Barbie. Yeah, just
Little
amazing
booklet.
stuff, guys. I mean, yeah,
Can't recommend it
definitely
more.
buy it. Buy it, no question.
$20.
That's awesome.
So yeah, guys, we
30.
appreciate you watching. 30 out of 30.
30
film.
out of 30.
Can't top that. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. This is Beyond the HorrorsBall. We cheer Rasputin.
Charge.
Chars.
Chars, my brothers. Have a good one.